morning, good evening. Welcome to this week's Fiverific live craft and chat where we craft and chat live. How's everyone going? What are you all up to? Let me know in the chat your current project that you're working on. I always love to hear about all of the projects all of the time. So, it's just the end of the July. Already, it's the last day of July here in Australia. It's the 31st. It's Thursday. I'm a little bit like, what now? What? So I'm a little thrown. To say the least. I've been super busy with work stuff, which I am loving. It's been a long time since I've just been like power. And it's like, I'm sick. Like my bronchial asthma is just through the roof right now. So if I have a little coughing fit, I'll try to mute it as fast as I can. Actually, I'm just going to clear the path to the mute button. So bear with me. I'm okay. It's just how my asthma presents after I've had a cold. So it sounds worse than it is. Well, actually it's pretty bad, but it's fine. It's all fine. So, it is the last Thursday of the month and it's a 5-week month. So there's no caffeinated crafters on tonight. There's no stuff on the weekend. My daughter has got a football game. She's like, Mum, are you going to be able to come to my football game? And I'm like, I think so. I think I can. So I haven't promised because I have to double check my calendar, which sounds terrible, but also me and the football games it's not awesome because I spend the whole time like going, like freaking out because, she tackles people and people tackle her and I don't like it. She loves it. So I try to be supportive, but I don't like it. So anyway, you remember last week, right? When we were talking about, it might have been the week before, the weeks have kind of blurred a little bit. And someone in the chat asked if we had any suggestions for using up leftover sock yarn. And it was just one of those things that was ruminating in the back of my mind. And it's like all the little things that you can make with the leftover sock yarn. And there's tons and tons of stuff that you can do. But something came up in my feed, in my YouTube feed, because YouTube knows me. Oh, it was Mel. Thank you, Mel. And look, Mel, I don't know if you crochet or not. But I spotted the cutest project. Now, I haven't added my project to Ravelry, Kelly. I don't even know if you're here yet. Oh, yes, you are. You're here. It's not added to Ravelry because I was still at testing phase, right? But now I'm like, I realized last night, no, we're not testing anymore. We are hooked. Okay. Oh, you can crochet. So that is awesome. That's good to know. All right. I'm going to show you where I'm up to. And then I'm going to show you why I love this little project. Okay. So let me just go into the top down. I'm in the totally wrong menu here. Let me just bear with. Live streams, Thursday chat, top down. There we go. Now, there's a couple of things I love about this. Like for a start, it's not squares, right? Like don't get me wrong. I love a good granny square. I'm a bit addicted, but I do it a lot, right? I do it a lot. So having these as little, what's it, 6 sides, that's pentagon, no, not pentagons, hexagons, little hexagons. Each one of these I'm doing with a 3.5 mil hook and it's sock yarn, averaging about 1.7 grams a motif. Okay, so under 2 grams. If you've got 2 grams of some sock yarn, you've got enough for one of these motifs. Now, I didn't invent this. I found, I'm gonna drop the link to the video. I have it in the description as well. At least I hope it's there. I had planned to put it there, but I'm going to drop this this here because actually that's going to drop you to the middle of the video. Gosh, I'm an idiot. I think the link in the description is a proper link because it's not just these little hexagons. And like, look, you know my little what's it called, the whatchamadoovie, Battenberg, the Battenberg. It's kind of got like Battenberg feels, except for one thing, right? Look at how these are aligned. I'm going to try and zoom in here, otherwise I'm going to lift it up. Let me try and zoom first. It's not real clear, but see how they're kind of like barber poling through here? That's kind of like a wrapped kind of look. It's how we crochet it on. These are crocheted on, they're not sewn on. And then I'm actually adding in a little, you know, sneaky Chantelism because I can't help myself. So as I finish a square, they're not squares, but as I finish one, I actually utilize one of the steps in the video where we don't have to weave in the ends. It's over in the Discord. I can't remember. Is it Bee Hooked? Robin? It might be Robin Hooked. So many videos running through my head right now. But it's where you just loop it through the back loop, and then I'll work over that next time, right? And so obviously as you get to the outer edge, like when you're working on your outer edge, you might want to finish them off a bit differently. But I'm obsessed, and the reason, like, this is all my hand-dyed yarn here, because you may have seen this before. I may have shown you the bag of shame. I'm going to get out the bag of shame. Just realized that's there. I'll just move that out of the way. Here's the bag of shame. This is the bag of shame. This is all fiberific sock yarn bits. There's a couple of minis, but mostly it's not a mini. It's mostly bits. There's the occasional bit more, you know, but mostly it's under 5 grams, because a lot of these rainbow colors were done in 5 grams. So like there was this blanket here that I was going to do, so I can frog that and reuse that. I got a pink one. I got lots of grays because I'm a bit obsessed with grays. But yeah, this is the bag of shame with all the bits in it. And there's actually another little tray with some more stuff in it somewhere. So I've been looking for some way to use this precious sock yarn, because it's the last of my hand-dyed sock yarn, right? Like I do have a tray of minis, hang on a second, which I would happily, like, I'm always like, oh, what would I use them for? I would happily use them in this project. Let me just reach over here. Now, most of these are mine. That one's not mine. That one's not, that's commercial, and it's not a mini. But the rest of these, that one's not mine. The rest of these are also all my hand-dyed yarns. So they're like, you know, like that one should actually be over in the container. But like, because I did do some little like super minis for something. So if anything was sort of 10 grams, it became a super mini. 25s were standard minis. So that's a standard one there. That's probably a 50 left over from something else. So I had all of these bits and bobs. I got a couple of these baskets floating around the house of just bits. So, you know, the bag of shame, it's actually worse than that, because it's also this basket and another basket in a bookshelf. And so these are just delightful to do. And look, the thing I love about them, right, and this might be a reason to love it or hate it, it'll depend on your perspective, is you work the majority of it, you just work it, right? And then when you're on that final round, you're sort of adding it in. And so I made a mistake. That one was supposed to actually fit in there, but I joined it into the wrong spot because I'm a numpty and I was doing it on the couch and didn't have a table in front of me. So now I'm going to have to join on 4 sides. Usually it's not more than 3, but yeah, they would be good for color, which is one of the reasons why I've kept them around. But you know, little bits like this, I probably wouldn't use. Like, let's see, is it even 2 grams? So we want at least 1.7. And it's 1.85. So there should technically be enough. Or it's 1.9. It should technically be enough to make a little motor. So let's give it a whirl. Let's go. So the video tutorial that I've put up there, she does every step of the way. I've zoomed it out too far now, haven't I? There we go. Yeah, so she does every step of the way. So this is not a tutorial. So we're doing a little hexie. she's not doing, she isn't doing magic loops. So I always start a project out how they do it, at least for the test, right? And because I was like, oh, a 3.5 mil hook with on a 4-ply yarn, like, okay, that's gonna not work. And it totally works. Now, what have I done there? Straight up, because I'm not looking at this properly. Let me just look at this properly and get this into the right spot. There we go. But I actually love how they sit. I like how soft and drapey they are. So I've decided just to keep doing it with the 3.5 mil and go from there. So yeah, so there's lots of uses for our scraps. I'm not saying that I'm not saying you have to use them. But when I saw this, I thought I just sat down and was like, I'll just do one of these. I'll just do one hexagon just to have a look at it and just to see how I feel about it. And then I was like, I suppose I better do a second one to do the join, just to see how I feel about that. I better do another one to try that, the join with the extra sides. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh, what color will go best next? I was hooked. And I'm trying not to be precious about the color placement. But like, there's a yellow here, so I don't want to put a yellow there or there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to make sure that the same color doesn't touch as such. In saying that, I'm planning on putting this bright blue one right here, and there is some blue in there, but it's a different blue. So let me know, is this something that you would be interested in and you would try out? Like to use up some of your leftover yarns? I'm like, oh yeah, it's a scrappy blanket, but I don't know. I don't consider these sock yarn small amounts as scraps, because in my brain, a scrap is something that you might be willing to throw, like you scrape it and you throw it out. There was some of these, like I was going through the bag last night, and some of them, like I realized had pieces like this long, and I'm like, what do I even have that for? So I binned those. I got rid of those. Which, knowing my, like, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to get like to the end of something and be like 3 stitches short, and that would have been perfect, which is probably exactly why I kept them. But I was like, no, Chantel, don't be silly. Let's get rid of. So what's the maximum length, or the shortest length that you'll actually keep when it comes to yarn? What's the shortest length? Do you know what, Mel? I'm the same. There's so many scrappy blankets out there, and they don't all sing to me, right? Like, and some of them, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cute. I saw this one and just reached for a hook and yarn. And I was just like, I have to at least try to see if I can get into the flow with the hexagon. Now, admittedly, I have tried to turn most of these hexagons into squares because I'm such a granny square person. So there has been a bit of that going on. And also just, you know, I'm a one chain between the corners person, but this pattern requires 2, and, you know, just little things. So by the time I finish the blanket, it should be fine. It should just be fine. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, the joining on rows are a little fiddlier, and I have this one big problem, which you're about to see, I'm sure, which is, for whatever reason, my brain really struggles with which angles to put everything on until I've done the first stitch. So I tend to do the first stitch wrong, and then I have to go back and fix that. Now, I just need to be clear, that's a me problem. That's not a pattern problem. That's a me problem. And so while I sit here and struggle, you can judge me silently, and understand that you probably won't have that struggle, you know? So, you know, and this is some blurple here that I've got, like the little, like, do you know how nice it is for me to sit down and actually like utilize some of these sock yarns that I have hoarded, obviously, for a long time, because I haven't dyed in a few years. But to actually find a project that I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is the project. It's nearly like a few years back when I made the gumball Afghan from TL Yarns, and I saw the pattern and I saw how chunky the yarn was, and I went, oh my gosh, that is the Aaron and Eve from what was, from what is now Source of Fiber, their big chunky cake. And I was like, no, that's that. And I pulled out all my Aaron and Eve because I bought like a fair whack. And I had the perfect amount in the perfect colors to make the gumball. Like, that just doesn't happen, or at least not to me. I'm always like shorter ball or, shorter color or something. And this time around, no, it was right. And that's how I feel about this one. My brain is just gone, zing. This is the right pattern for this project, for this yarn. So yeah. And the other thing I love about it, right? You ready for it? Is I can do it in bursts, like for now, because I've got so much sock yarn. But as time goes on, and I just want to make the blanket bigger and bigger and bigger, I can just keep adding to it. Obviously, at some stage, I'm going to try and sort of square it off-ish a bit to try and make it tidy. But while I'm in the middle, it feels it feels a lot better. Deb, it's held your thing for review just because, like, it thinks you're trying to write something else. So just, give it another go. Give it another go. We're gonna hide that one. But good morning, Deb. Good morning. So yeah. Where am I up to? I've done that one. Put 2 in the one spot there. That was silly because we don't do any of that in this except for the start. Let me just. I've got to join on to here. And it's a dark yarn, and I don't have quite enough light here for this dark yarn. Note to self, don't use dark yarn in this studio. Before I go and get my prescription sorted out of my glasses. There we go. There we go. Good morning, Deb. Good to see you. Okay. Now, because I've got to do, because you only do 2 rounds and then you've got to join on, right? Because I've got to join on 4 rounds, because I never join on straight away. I always do at least one side. So I normally do 2 sides, but this time I'm just going to do the one side. Because I'm going to have to sit here and embarrass myself trying to work out how to, I wish I could turn the camera off for this bit. Because I know I'm going to be like a total unco with it. Like, la, 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 can't do anything. Totally discombobulated. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, so I want to add it into here. So I need to, do you know what? It's actually easy because it's on a table. This is adorable and I love it. Fit to function, me too. I am, Jen Homewood. That's you, Jen Homewood. Did you change your username? You did, because it's your picture. It's the picture. I could be totally wrong here. It looks like Jen Homewood's picture. I'm loving that it's using up all of the leftover of my hand-dyed Fibrofix sock yarns, and it's super cute. Okay, now let me see. So you got to take that out of there, put that in there, grab that, bring it through, do a chain, do the next stitch, which is into here. Do you know what? I should just do it on a table. It's Jen. Yeah. Oh, YouTube's being weird. Okay. It is. Do you know what? Note to self, do this on a table. Don't try and do it not on a table. So much easier. Didn't monged it up the first time. I am a champion. Look at me, the professional crochet person. Totally not screwing it up. She says before she checked her stitch counts and could totally have put the first stitch into the wrong spot. It could be used for so many things, Bianca. It's basically like a fabrication piece. You could shape it into panels for garments. You could shape it into cushions, to table runners if you want to make it with cotton. There's just, it's one of these things that you're only limited by your imagination. And I love stuff like that. I mean, it does prove that my imagination has limits, but I love stuff like that. And I do love, while I was all like, oh, I'm going to totally mess this up. Sorry, my voice is already going. Good job, me. I'm going to totally mess this up on camera because that's what I do. And then I make it look like, oh yeah, totally not an issue. Crochet and Knit Around New Zealand with Trish. Great to see you in the chat here. And then what did I do? I've done something stupid in the brown one. There's no corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have legit stuff that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, I haven't. I just keep going, Chantel. Don't assume you've made it wrong just yet. But I think I did do the wrong one. Oh, well, that is awesome. I love it when it works out like that. Okay, no, I did mess it up. So basically what happens is every now and again, and this is again a me issue, is I work into the wrong spot first and then it messes up all of the counts. So I've just got to pull this out. And I think it was just because I was just so hyper excited that this actually worked first time round that it's a me. It is a person in chair, not in pattern problem. All right. We need to be very clear on that because some people get really funny and they think it's the pattern, but it is actually the user because like I've done it successfully this many times. All right. It's because you're watching. You all need to close your eyes for just a little second while I get this right. So problem number 1 was I missed a stitch at the start. So I actually had less stitches in here than anticipated. And problem number 2 is for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm nervous today. My hands are a bit shaky and I'm a little bit nervous. I've had a really super busy morning, but great. Usually I try and relax into a live stream morning, but today I had to hit the ground running with some other stuff first. Which like it was all good, like nothing bad, just stuff that needed to get done. And yeah, so I'm just like, I'm barely caffeinated. And then I made the decision not to make coffee, which I'm regretting. Look, I've got tea and I've got water. But because my throat's so sore, I just thought that was the smartest options. But if you are just joining in, the pattern for this is in the description, plus also further back in the chat. I did not design this. I'm just making it. I saw it. It came up in my YouTube feed. It's super cute. Someone called Emma C Makes. She's got a couple of really gorgeous things. I think I'd actually seen one of her other things before, which was a granny square one that she'd done. And for me, I like how she joins all her motifs. Because like, who here in the chat doesn't like weaving in the ends? Like I'm not a big fan. And this, I'm utilizing some of the skills that I've learned when I was making the Jethro, to also, I'm still a stitch short here. How is that even possible? What have I done? Let me just put this one in first before I, get angry at myself because maybe I just haven't counted that one. No, that should be in the corner. That one should be in the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? This edge has an extra stitch on it. The brown one that I'm trying to work into, which you can't see, I've just realized it's not even on the camera. My little footstool's just turned around. Hang on a second. Get back up there, you. The brown one that I'm trying to work into is wrong. Oh my gosh. It's like, why isn't this working? So what I'm actually going to do is be a total legend and just literally skip over a stitch. Can I retrieve that one? Retrieve that one. Redo this one. Oh my goodness, such a pro. I was so excited to show this to you guys that I didn't even consider the fact that I'd just totally botch it. That one can go in there. And then on to the next one. Oh, wait. I don't even know what I've done here. Hang on. I'm going to skip that corner. abort mission. And just go down here. I'm going to leave that one alone and try again somewhere else and see if it's me. Game Widows is asking, while I remember, have you taken your new machine out of the box? The answer is no, I have not. So this week I picked up a new sewing machine. My husband bought it for me for my birthday. It is a sort of a, I'd call it an entry level machine. And it is, well, it's sort of like an entry to mid-level. It's basic, but it is going to do exactly what I need it to do, right? It's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, you could upgrade and get all these bells and whistles. And I'm like, yeah, I got another machine that does those. This is the machine that I need to be able to like pick up, throw it in the car, take it to sewing retreats, take it to friends' houses for sewing days without feeling like I'm damaging my memory craft. Because I don't believe it has enjoyed being in the car. I think that's why it had its little hissy fit and refused to work. Apparently it was a standard service that fixed it. I've got to test that as well. Because I haven't even like I brought the machines home, brought them in the house, and they haven't moved since I brought them in the house. I haven't touched them. I haven't opened anything. I haven't checked anything. I've been a bit busy, and I am very much looking forward to being able to test and do all these things. But I also want to be able to do it like without like any, I should be doing something else guilt. I mean, like I don't get that guilt from housework, let's be clear. Which I think upsets my husband. But I do get it when I've got actual work that needs doing. Look at this. Look, when you use an actual motive that is correct, look how much easier it comes together. Like, boom, first try, done. Move on, connect it to the second piece. Boom, done. So now I've got to connect this edge to that edge to pinch it on. I'm going to pull that guy. I'm going to rip him off and work out what nerf I've done here. So 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. Here, there's 6 there. 2, 4, 6, 7. There's 7 on that one. All right, good, great. I'll fix that later. In here. La 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 la. Like, well done, Chantel, for doing that one publicly where it's, I'll tell you what, it's so much easier on a table. Note to self, do these on a table. Mind you, for those of you that overhand crochet, this will be so much easier. I crochet like a pencil, so I do kind of have to move things out of the way a little bit sometimes because I'm like, that's not how I like to hold my hook. I can hold it the other way, and it used to be my preferred way, so it's not like I can't crochet using the other method or the other handhold style. I just feel a little bit alien doing it. I feel a bit unco with it. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I know we all hold our hooks and tools differently. I know we've had this chat before, but let me know in the chat, are you a pen holder or a knife holder when it comes to your crochet hook, if you're a crochet person? Alrighty, and then we join on and we just work the rest of the way around the motif. We've got, oh, Leanne's dropped the link in again. Thank you, Leanne. So what's happening today? There seems to be less of the peoples around than usual. Is there stuff going on? Are there fun events that I'm missing out on? Let me know in the chat. Bianca says she doesn't know. She doesn't know which way she prefers to hold. There you go. Well, Bianca, you're a pretty new convert to the old crochet. So by pen or knife, this way is like a pen. So think of how, if you pick up a pen, how do you, like, do you put your hook over the top like that? Or do you hold it like a knife? So when you pick up a knife to like cut something, you've got your hook like a knife. So it's like overhand or underhand. We'll pop that back over there, out of the way. 2, 4, 5, and 6. I'm watching the end of this yarn and I'm like, am I going to run out before I get to the end? I had an extra 0.1 of a gram. Seriously, that should be plenty, right? Or nearly 0.2 of a gram. It's totally going to be enough. That's so funny. Let me just count all these. 2, 4, 5, and then that one joins on to the there. And then we do this. And that is the end. Boom. And now what I do is, so this, I'm nowhere near the edges yet. I'm planning on doing a blanket. So I just go through the back loop, and this one's, I'm actually going to trim this down because there's no way I'm going to need that much and it's in the way when I'm cutting out the back loop. And just, I'm going to try and go around 2 edges of the motif if I can. Otherwise I just do 1. But if I can do 2, I do 2. I'm just going through the back loop here. I'll do it again with a lighter yarn. I'll choose a lighter yarn next time. This just happened to be like, oh my gosh, there's a purple one and it weighs enough. So this is a project that I highly recommend you have a set of scales handy. You guys that have been here before, you know the scales that I like. I find them to be super reliable for what I'm doing. I actually have a few sets lying around the house. So I've got my green set here in the studio. I've got just a plain silver set out in my next to my craft chair, so I don't have to be lugging them around because they're fairly inexpensive, and so it's, it's fine to have a couple. And I've also got scales in the kitchen. Isabel, I'm the same. When I do Tunisian, or like giant hooks, I go overhand. But when it's the other, like when it's just standard crochet, I am a pencil. Now I just give this a little stretch just to make sure I've I'm not bulking it up. And I do leave that little tail there. So when I block it, if I stretch it out a bit more, I've got a bit more leeway to trim in ends to hide things. So, but then I still do need to go back and do all the middles. I have not done any of the middles. And this one here, I had to join on a second yarn because I ran out. So there'll be middles, all right? There'll be middles. Yeah, so Kelly, when I very first learnt, I was originally a knife crocheter. I had and I've been crocheting that way for a long time. And I actually had someone walk over to me and smack me over the back of the hand with quite a heavy hook, telling me I was doing it wrong. And then I got moved over to the pen hold. I don't agree with the methods, but it did work better for me in the long run. But both of them were right. There's actually no wrong. Do you get the stitches? Yes. Are you working at a pace you're happy with? Yes. Is there any point changing? No. But if you're finding, especially if you're getting any pain, maybe try one of the other methods. You move things slightly differently. So I think it's actually good to know how to do things more than one way, just in case. I don't like to be stopped from crafting due to pain. So yeah. Oh, you changed because of pain. Yeah, good. And that's the advantage is you and like with knitting, with crocheting, there's so many different ways to hold things and do things. If you are getting pain, try another way before you quit, and then you may still have to quit. It depends. Now we've got to undo this one. It makes me sad. Fix it now before I forget. That's my song. Fix it now before I forget. You're welcome. That'll be on my upcoming album of crochet songs to crochet by. Let me just undo the end. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. And then we've got to do the thing. Make the thing come out. Do the thing. Come on, stinker. There we go. Boop. Alrighty. Now, luckily, I do only have to pull one round. I think. All right. Like, don't judge me. We're doing a lighter color. I promised a lighter color. Let's have a look and see what I did wrong here. All right. 2, 4, 6. Scales, I changed. It also meant that I now hold the yarn in my hand, the same for both crochet and knitting. That's something I absolutely love. Because I'm a continental knitter, I do tension the same for both knitting and crochet. It is along with the ballad of the rhubarb cocktail. Yes. That's hilarious. I forget sometimes that you were there for the rhubarb cocktail. The rhubarb cocktail also had a little dance. So maybe I could do a film clip for that one. I don't know. Oh dear. Leanne says I wanted to change because I thought it would relax my tension. Did you find it relaxed your tension? I don't know if it would, but did you find that it did? I found that just crocheting faster relaxes my tension. It's like I'm moving too fast to check the tension, and now it's all loose. Let me just check. Now I'm paranoid about all this. 2, 4, 6, because I'm like 2. Oh, this is the problem right here. That round there has got 5 in it instead of 4. 2, 4, 5. Alrighty, I have to pull back an extra row. La la la. 2, 4, 5. Now how did I get in an extra one there? How did I swing that? So that one goes in there. Then 1. Then 2. Then the end. That should equal 4. It does. I have no idea what I did. But it is repaired now. It is repaired. Oh, I know exactly what I did because I just went to redo it like a numpty. I'm so used to doing like a V-stitch in the corners that I just tried to do a V-stitch and then add in the extra corner one. Well, I learnt that, didn't I? Good job, me. Oh, your brain didn't adjust to it? Yeah, that's all right. It doesn't need to. Like, that's the thing. Like, I really don't think it will change your tension. I think that's just going to come down to you loosening your tension and thinking about it and adjusting for it. Maybe you just need to go up a hook size so that, go down a hook size. So, no, which way am I thinking? Go up a hook size. So even though it's super tight, when you take it out, it might come down to the right size. It's just going to, we all do things so differently. You're just going to have to do test and trialing, but you make beautiful things, Leanne. And some things need tight tension. Like I get really annoyed with myself sometimes because my tension's not tight enough. Game Widow says right hand knife, a left hand pencil. Okay. Alrighty, let's fix this guy up and have it fixed so it doesn't embarrass me in the future. And also I'll put it in the right spot because I didn't want it where it was. So let's take this time to legit fix it. 2, 4, 6. We're good to go. Oh, you do go up? Yeah. Sometimes you just have to make that adjustment. Do you find that the tight tension is any more or less effort on your wrists or on your elbows? Or is it, oh man, I've got to join this on. Stop doing it. All right. We want to put it here with the pink. And I wanted to put it in there. There we go. I'll tell you what. I wish I had thought to do this on a table beforehand. and I think part of it's because I craft on the couch. Like, let me know in the chat, where it is that you craft. Like, what's your? I'm not working. I'm sitting back. I'm crafting comfy. Are you a sit at the desk crafter, or sit at a table, or have a little table, like a stable table or something on your couch? Like, where is your crafty happy spot? Like, let me know in the chat. For me, it's on the couch, feet up on the footstool, under a little blanket. Funnily enough, it's not a blanket that I've made. But I like to just I like to like lean back with my craft, like up here. And you know, it makes it so I can actually see it better because I'm blind. And need to get my prescription changed in my glasses. I should really just go and do that. Oh dear. It's been something I've been meaning to do it. Let's have a look here. So Leanne is she's at a table 100%. Okay. Bianca says mostly in front of my computer, but don't so you don't lean on the table. You might lean back at the computer though, because that's the thing. Like, even if I'm sitting here to craft, because sometimes I do, right? Because this might be the comfiest spot available, but I'll still lean back because I've got my comfy lean back chair. So I'll still lean back, and I've got a little footstool under my table here, so I can still footstool, and I've got a little blankie. So, but it's still leant back with my hands up here. It's not down on the table, which is why whenever I do stuff on a table, I look so unco, and it's because it's not my natural spot. But I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, which is why sometimes it also disappears from the shot. Don't have crafting on the desk. So Game Winner says couch for knitting, crochet and spinning, table for weaving and some spinning. Isabel Craft says desk 100%, watching YouTube as well. Yeah, well, see, I watch a lot of YouTube on my television, so you know, if I get the lounge room, there's for some reason, right? We've got a single seated chair. Admittedly, the dog bed is sitting on it, but we could move it. There's a single seated chair. There's a 3-seater sofa, and they're both leather and nice. There's a 2-seater chair, and ever since we set the lounge room up like that, everyone's fought over the 2-seater. And like, that's my chair. That's my craft chair. I moved it from my studio out into the house. We had to move everything around to put it in. The second we put it in, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this is comfy. I want to take this." So it's like this run, like when we're going out to the lounge room, it's like this massive like comedic sort of biffo between the three of us of who can get out there first to sit in the comfy chair, because the other chair's totally comfy, not a problem. There's no issues with them. For me, it's not my chair. They're in my chair, and I think they just want to steal it because it's my chair, and they think it's funny that I have a chair out there. So yeah. So yeah. Leanne says there's been no telly in my house for years. We've got a few tellies. We like telly. We like watching shows. We like all that sort of stuff. Food. No, hang on a second. I did the wrong thing there. Not just, I just put the stitch in the wrong spot. Nothing too dramatic. I can totally fix it. There we go. Fully into the corner. Then we want to bring it into this corner. And then what am I doing here? I'm adding that edge along there. I think this is my first one with 3. So like I've done that one there. Now I need to join it across there and join it down there. So I actually like it better now that it's not just hanging off the end. I feel like it's a bit more intentional because this is where I wanted it. Yeah, so I would say that those of you that are overhand crocheters, you'll probably find this a bit easier because my hand just keeps automatically trying to do it as an overhand situation. Now I'm like, oh, that was a hard stitch to get into. Was I even supposed to be in that one? I don't know if I'm supposed to be in that one. Then I've dropped another stitch. Good job, me. Good job, me. Let me have a look here. I think it goes there. So 1, 2. We'll find out. Worst case scenario, I just have to rip it back and do it again. I actually don't consider that a bad case scenario for a single row of crochet. If it was like a sweater's worth of crochet, I'd be more inclined to be more careful. But it's a single row of joining, and while yes, it's a little fiddly, it's actually not that bad. I'm going to have to move. I've got like a little, you know, those little tables that you buy for sitting in bed, so you can watch YouTube on your laptop or do work or whatever, sitting in a bed or sit like sort of halfway sitting. Well, I've got one of those. Abby bought it when she went down to the snow last year. I totally missed that stitch. Come back, little stitch. Anyway, it's got a little home and it's tucked behind the TV unit. So I'm like, you know what? For this project, I might tuck it next to my chair. So when I want to do the joinings, I can just pull it up, and because it is that much easier here on a table. Get in there, you miserable. I think, did I? Yep, I'm good. Oh no, I did. I missed a stitch. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. There we go. What it was is I'd actually had my chain sitting too far over and it was sort of blocking stuff. So making sure that, you know, we're putting things into the right spot to make it as easy for ourselves as possible is an important thing. And I should have gone with my gut and left it in that first spot rather than try to skip over it, because that was the stitch I was missing, was that very first one. Because I was like, oh no, it doesn't go in there, it goes in the next one down. And I even counted it out, going, nope, it definitely needs to be in that first one. And then still missed it. Still was just like, la 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 la. Off with the fairies, doing my own thing. But I'm a bit like, I don't know, can you tell? I'm a bit obsessed with this one. Like, I've started it and it's like I have to be like, okay, you can only do 2 hexies today because we've got too much work to do. We've got too many other projects on the go, but you can do 2. And then you do 3. And you're just like, well, you were only supposed to do 2, but now you've done 3 and it looks off. So you might have to do 1 more. So there's a bit of that going on. Like, it's not like I don't have 14 other projects I need to be working on. A second here. I dropped it. That's a me problem. That's not a pattern problem. It's just I missed both loops there, and then when I pulled it out to fix it, I dropped it. You've never done a join as you go project. Okay. Look, I love join as you go projects. I think they're a lot of fun. There is a downside to join as you go projects, which is ends up becoming a non-travel project. So right now, I would still technically class this as a travelable project because it is little and it can fit. Like, I think of it like if I'm sitting at a coffee shop and there's someone at the table right next to me, can I work on this? Right now, the answer is yes. But as they start getting bigger and bigger, I don't take my big projects out. Natalie says, sorry, I've come in late. Is this project for the Mima Makes Cal? I have no idea what the Mima Makes Cal is. No. If it is, it's unintentional. Maybe I should find out what it is and be like, oh my gosh, totally planned to do this for the Mima Makes Cal. No, it was something that YouTube showed me, because we know YouTube does very well at showing us things that we didn't know we needed to see. There's a link in the description. It's a beautiful little join as you go hexie project for using sock yarn scraps. Like 1.86 grams, no, it was 1.9 grams of the blue, and I had this much left over and made a motif. You can't see it because it's very dark. But now I need to know what the Mima Makes Cal is, so thanks for that. I've got like 11,000 things I need to do before retreat. Do you know what? I'm just gonna start another project. Yeah, like that's legit the answer, isn't it? Like that's the right answer. We all know that's the right answer. Like, of course, starting a new project is the right answer. I mean, the thing I like about this one, right, is once I do get through the backlog, it doesn't mean the project's done. It just means it's waiting for me to finish another sock yarn thing so I can add more of my sock yarn leftovers to it, because that's the ultimate goal for it. So while I'm starting this off with my own hand-dyed leftovers, I honestly don't think I'll get a whole blanket out of that. And I do want at least a knee rug size blanket out of this. So I will probably, very likely, need to add in, leftovers from commercial yarn projects and things like that. So we'll definitely need to do that. What do we need a progress photo of Kelly? I need to know what Kelly's progressing photos of. I've missed something. Oh, the mosaic purses. Sorry, yes, I just saw it further up the chat. The mosaic purses are so addictive that I have an issue with them. Which is why, even though I've got everything all set up ready to go for one, I've not started it because I need projects I can put down and walk away from and that's not one of them. That's not a project I can do that with. Are we on the corner? How did I wait a second? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's me. I missed a stitch like a Gumby. I am an umpty. I missed a stitch right at the start again. On the brown side, not on the yam green side. This little tail here. Note to self: don't weave the tails into the corners like this. That's annoying. Get out of the way. The tails are bugging me. Like, get out of my way, tails. Like, seriously, dudes. All right, now this is the issue here. Was there? Alrighty. We have the missing stitch now. Now we just have to put all the others back in. Now I do find that sort of pulling the loop up and making it a bit loose helpful. Because like you can just pull it out, sure, and pinch it and go in and do it. But I would say I have a large proportion of the times where I move things around too much and end up losing that loop and have to redo the previous stitch to get the loop back. So I just found that if I just pull the loop up a little bit more, like sure, yes, I'm gonna have to pull it back down again, but at least I can, like that instance there where I pulled it down too fast. Alrighty, now we're on the corner again. Are we on the corner? Yeah, we are. Excellent. That's the other thing. Like you find out pretty quick if you botched it up, right? It looks very similar. It looks like the Mima Makes Cal. It's very similar. Oh, I'm gonna have to go and have a look. Is it a little? I mean, it could well be. I don't even know because I didn't know it existed. I'm a bit behind with the thing. I'm gonna have to have a squeezy look once I fix this brown one up, because the brown one doesn't count because I was just fixing one that was wrong. Look at all my justifications for doing an extra doobie what's it. Oh, look. You may do an extra one if you botch the previous one and you have to fix it. Let's have a look here. All right, so what's this Mima? Mima is a hexalon. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly just Google it. The Mima Cal. The Mima Makes Cal. Oh, so it's a pattern to buy. So is it just any hexagon, any hexagons? So it's like hexagon season. Is that what you're saying here? Mima Makes Cal. Yorkshire Crochet Along Blanket. Pattern by Mima Makes. No, that's not this one, is it? but I found the Mima Makes and Ravelry, so we should be able to find. Okay, the Hexalong blanket, I found it. That's very cute, actually. I really like that. And I like that idea for that border as well. Mima has some wonderful, I'm going to have to go and check her out because these are so colourful and cute. Let me just, before Kelly says it. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so that's so cute. Like seriously, and this is the look at this little border. I was wondering how I was going to edge this one off, and I think I might edge it off like that. Just give it an edge, like it doesn't need to be squared off. Leanne says she has gingham squares. Let's go to Mima's page and go to her designs. Oh, let's go to the pattern store. We can see the pictures bigger. Where's the gingham squares? That hexadaisy is super cute. I am confused. I don't see any gingham squares. I could be blind, you know. I mean, let's be honest here. There's a good chance. Oh, there's only I don't think there's 16 projects there. Let me just see if I can see it. No. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But that hexalon is super cute. And I also love that it's called a hexalon. Oh, you went to her YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm not going to risk her YouTube channel because I could get dinged for copyright. Don't want to do that right now. But that's super cute. But no, this was not the plan. I had not seen this before. So, you know, my brain's like, keep up, Chantel. Keep up. We can totally don't need you for this, but we would like to keep up. Did I give myself, you know what? I've given myself a button to do it. I go hunting for it off the screen every time, but I've made a button for it. So the brown one needs its little endy bit done. Now that it's in, let me just count 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. All right, it's all correct. It's all correct. I do love a gingham square, I will say. I'll have to go and have a check out of her channel. Letters. But no, this was just something that YouTube showed me and was just like, hey Chantel, you should legit start a new project when you've got 27 already on the go and you actually have a little project for the sock yarn that you're just not enjoying and maybe you would enjoy this one more. And yeah, you should do this one because I'm not enjoying the Battenberg, which is why it kind of got put on the wayside. The little squares are cute, but like the whole process of like how I've got to join them together, and it is very similar to this. It's not the same, but it is very similar. It's you know, it was I just liked it, and because the Battenberg's also got the white squares in between everything, and I'm sure you don't have to have that, but for me, it was this join. How this, like, let me just see the join. How it just looks twisted, looks a bit rustic. I really like that. And that's what made me go, I'll have a look at that. All right, lucky dipping into the bag. We've got that one. It could go down here. Oh, there's a couple of darks. Maybe there. Let's put it there. Looks like I was going to do something else with it. Looks like it has a Tunisian-y bit attached to it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Whatever you want to use, Game Widows, I'm happy for. So, there's a mosquito in here and it's driving me insane. I mean, you're either dead or you got the memo. But you're not on my hands. There we go. Frog, 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 frog. It is a very, very easy to love pattern, this one. The other thing that you could do, if you really just want to sit down and hexy a bit, is you could do a whole pile of the squares up to that last round. Oh, come on, I don't want to have to break you, but I will. I'm not afraid to because I've got this much of you. I got enough, plenty of squares. I don't need the whole lot. Stop it. Ha ha ha. There we go. Look, that bit can be rubbish. Just trim off that broken bit. So yeah, so like that's the thing. If you really want to make it a bit travelable, like say you kind of work out how much you need, but especially if you've got like, last night I sat down and because this was worse. This bag was worse, right? Like these have at least been untangled, like because they. So look, I found all like little bits like this in it. Like why did I keep that? I don't know. But oh, and this one here, I probably kept it because it's the very last piece of that color. I possibly don't have any more of that, but like why? I'm not keeping it. But like these little bits here, oh jeez. I kept some of these shorter bits because I figured I could join, not that one, but I could join like this bit of purple onto another bit of purple. That's too short. This is not too short. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so last night I was sort of sitting down and I wound, like as I was pulling things out of the thing, I was winding it into little balls and weighing the little balls and seeing how much I had. And I was like surprised at how much one of these, like it's like, oh, it's like nothing. Like that's 5 grams. So that's like at least 2. That's at least 2 motifs in that one. And then this one here is 6.8 grams. So that's at least 3 motifs in that one. Like you just surprise yourself like how far, like there's this little one here, which actually that one's going to go in the rubbish because I've just realized what it is. It's alpaca. But like this little like splodge here of blue, like what's that? That's not enough. But I have another little splodge of the same blue. Now it's plenty. So, I've got a lighter blue. And in the bag here, there's a big mess of more blue, so I've still got to go through it all. But like there was this little tiny one, and that was enough for a motif. Like that one's just like got little hints of colours on it. So I'm not a big fan of the magic balls. They've got knots, and I cut out knots. I'm not a knot user. I know a lot of people are really happy with adding knots to their work, but seeing how weavers deal with it, like if you've got to break silk and you don't have scissors, do you know what you do? You tie a knot in it and you can just snap it. It creates a weak point. And so I don't like knots. So I don't make the magic balls. And I know some people love them though. Kelly says that the photos of her mosaic purse are in the fun zone. I'll have to check it out. All right. So last night was the problem, like, right? Because I'm like literally like pulled out. I'm like, oh, look, there's some of that one. And oh, look, there's little ickle bits of purple, which is, these little ickle bits of purple, they're all going to get joined together to make like a couple of rounds, because I don't have it like, and then I've got like this splodge of a purple test. Because some of these are test colors that never made it to sort of production. But most of them are from the rainbow socks. And like, look, there's a little test color. There's a couple of little bits of it. So there was this one that was 3.2 grams. And this one, which is 3.5. So between the two of them, there's 3 motifs. Like, look, there's another little purple one. 1.23 might be a bit light. But yeah, so last night I'm like rolling up. Like, oh, there was a little bit of the hypercolor one that I made. So yeah, so I was just like so excited. And I think part of it is because these are my hand-dyed yarns and they're seeing the light of day again. So I think that might be why I could just be a little over the top excited about it. Let me know in the chat if you think I'm being ridiculous. I mean, it's legit. It's a legit thing. Oh, and there's some of the this was a green I tried replicating, and that's how I ended up making that. This is not the green you're looking for, because I wanted this green and I could not redo it. There is not enough for a thing. There's like half the amount. But there might be another little piece in here somewhere. There's another version of it, the lighter version that I ended up going with. There's enough for, might be a close call on that one, but maybe enough of that one to make one. So yeah, so I've got all these like little, like, oh look, a little tiny, you know. This one here, that won't be enough. Yeah, that's like this one here. But is it too big to throw out? I don't know. So it's like, what color do I do next? I get overwhelmed. I'm doing the teal next. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing Moran. Moran, you're next. You're already on the hook. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go back to the screen so I can make sure the stream is working. It is. Yeah, so if you really want to make this travelable, just instead of picking a ball like this that has obviously like enough for, you know, there's 17 grams there. So, you know, instead of having like that much there, pick one that's closer to the 3 grams or the 2 grams, so that you can just do your little square and leave the tail dangling off to do the join-ons. Mel says, I think I'll have to create a project bag with all the sock leftovers and a hook and get started on this. Do you know what? That's how I felt about it. Oh, what have I done there? I was supposed to join in the circle, not make a stitch, you Gumby. I watched the tutorial and I wasn't even through, like, I don't know, 5 minutes of it before I was off looking for a hook and going for this bag, because I knew where this bag was. But like, I'm going to get my scraps. I'm going. And I pulled out my scales. If anyone wants a link to my scales that I've got here, let me know and I'll grab that link for you and pop it in the chat. I just got them from Amazon. They're fairly inexpensive, but they've been really solid. So I've been really happy with them. And they come with 2 lids, so you got to remember to pull that smaller lid off. But that one also acts as like, they also act as like little trays. So if you've got like something like beads that roll around, which is, I use these a lot for the beads. It's super useful for that as well. My red scales are sitting in front of me on my desk. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I just have, I think my daughter finds it a little bit weird, but I do have scales. I have 3 sets of scales inside the house. When I was for my mum's wake, I decided to give everybody a little pack of flower seeds. So they're like all beneficial insects, and you know, they attract all sorts of beneficial insects and stuff like that, because my mum loved that sort of thing. And so I bought like a bulk bag of these seeds. So I'm sitting at the desk like that we've got in the living room with my scales and my little tiny spoons, like, you know, that I used to use for measuring all the dye. They've all been cleaned up and put away for a long time. And I'm like using these, and Abby's just walked in with one of her friends, and Abby's just like, oh, and I'm putting them into little paper bags. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm measuring out the seeds for Nana's wake. It wasn't a good look. Let's go with that. Not a good imagery on that one. But yeah, kind of funny because it was so innocent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And I'm sure, like, if you've got a preferred way that you do your hexagons, I'm sure that it would work. I've just been doing her exact hexagon recipe pattern because I like it. I like how it sits. That's the reason. Natalie says, I have some in the kitchen, crafting nest and craft room. It was a pack of 3. Yep. You know, if you find good scales, get yourself a second set. That's my advice to you. If you find good scales, get a second set. Just pop them in the cupboard. You don't need to use them. Make sure there's no battery in them. They're just super useful. And when you need scales and you can't, and like yours die and you needed scales right now, and then you remember you've got that second set, you're like, ah, oh, yeah. could still do the thing. I was not thwarted. Because I don't like being thwarted by inanimate objects. I don't like being thwarted, full stop. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. No one likes being thwarted. Let me know in the chat. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could just be my opinion. Does anybody else enjoy being thwarted? I don't like having my plans thwarted. Sometimes it's for good reasons. Sometimes it's for sundry reasons. And either way, I don't like it. Sometimes I just want to do the thing. And when I'm told no, I don't like it. But I am also an adult. Sometimes you just have to be like, fine, there's no electricity. Can't do the thing I wanted to do. Don't have to like it though. Alrighty. At the end of hopefully a hexagon. Now I'm not certain I can count to 6 anymore. Luckily this one only has this round only has to count to 4. I think that was what threw me about this pattern as well. So instead of starting with 3 trebles in each of the pieces, it's 2. And the very first one I went to make, I mustn't have been listening properly. And I'm like, man, this is a lot of stitches to squish in here. And why does mine be all ripply and hers is nice? And then I realized, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Hang on. Nope. What have I done there? I did one too many stitches. I'm so glad I checked because I had 5 instead of 4. I don't know what made me check, but I'm glad I did. Alrighty. Yeah. I'm a bit obsessed with this project and I'm enjoying it a lot, trying not to feel guilty about working on this when I could be knitting my shirt or crocheting on my big blue blanket, which has been, I haven't touched that in a week. In saying all of that, this is the only craft I've done in the last 7 days. Live stream last week was the last time I worked on my big blue blanket. I haven't, actually, I might be lying. Hang on a second. What did I work on? No, I did. I worked on, it's not in here. Caffeinated Crafters, we had it on the weekend, and I did work on my hat, which is in my craft bag, which is still out on the dining table because I haven't touched it when I brought it in and dropped it off. So I worked a couple of rows on my headband and lots of rows on my hat last Saturday. But since then, this is the only craft I've done. I've been working, doing other stuff. But yeah. And I don't know, is it because I've been craft starved this week that I'm just like obsessed with this, or is it just, is it as cute as I think it is? Like, let me know in the chat. I think I'm a little hypo today, a little bit obsessed, so it could be a me thing. I'm just thinking, where do I want to put this color? Okay, just let me visualize a little bit thing. I think there would be nice. Oh, that Milo and the oh, you can't even see. That Milo and the Moran look really nice together. But it's just the color in the camera is just a bit off today. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't know if I can. I forgot to turn on something before the stream, and it's one of those things where it'll either work or it won't work, and it probably won't work. And it didn't. Logitune. Get your, oh, wait. It's asked for an update. Usually I just get this purple screen. It was like, you get nothing. But I'm getting an update. Oh, please, update gods. Make it so that when I turn it on, I don't have to uninstall it and reinstall it every time I want to use it. I would love that. Okay, good call, Game Widows. I'll keep that in mind. It's stupid cute and I need it, from Jen. Awesome. Mel says, it's so cute, I have to make it. Kelly says, it is pretty and a great use of scraps. Leanne says, oh, just in case you've been under a rock. Here's the fun zone link. Oh, I love that, Leanne. Just in case you've been under a rock. Just in case you knew and have no idea that I existed. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see. We've got the Brio. Let me see if we can fix this up. Come on, Brio. Do your thing. Let's go to the image adjustments here. Ba, ba, ba. Bit brighter. Oh, there we go. The saturation levels are off. That's the problem. Because I'm like looking at the colors and I'm just like, what is with these colors? There we go. The saturation levels like were down for like 90% or even less than 90%. So I think it's probably because the white will blow out. And then we want the sharpness. That's too sharp. That'll do. I could just play with this and keep trying to tweak it. Now this one here, this yarn here, I've got a lot more of that. It looks fantastic knitted up. It never looked great crocheted, but it's a good foil. I don't like the sharpness on that. That's better. It's a good foil color, but knitted looks way better than crocheted. Kelly's dropped a reminder in here to thumbs up if you haven't, and if you're enjoying, consider becoming a full member. For the cost of a coffee a month, you can help support our wonderful Chantel. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, it's really inexpensive to be a channel member, and you do get, there are some channel member perks. Like for a start, you get a little icon on your name and everyone can see that you're a channel member. Secondly, we have a secret squirrel spot in the Fiberific Discord for channel members. And we do run most months, unless something terrible happens, we run a members only Discord chat. So it's like a Zoom call for just the channel members. We do that one Saturday a month. My Saturday, it might be a Friday evening for you. So we do get to hang out and I get to see what you're working on, which I actually love a lot. Now, I did that again where I put that down there. So I might just sneaky squirrel you over here. Sneaky squirrel. Can I just want to run it down. So I'm just going to hook it on. I think it's just something I just have to be ready for, you know, like that this is just something that happens and I just have to accept that sometimes the end will be right in the corner. There we go. I'll deal with that end a bit later. That's it. It probably could just be trimmed now, right back. And you might get to witness me making jam or marmalade. Absolutely. Or biscuits or whatever it is that you are cranking. Now, where am I putting this one? I'm going to pop it between the brown and the... Okay, so I need to undo that. I only have one of those. Make that big. Go in here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. It is still like, how many times have I done this now? But it's still newish in my brain. So I still got to run through all the steps until I've got a bit more down pat before I can start doing it silently. Sorry about that. I know me running through the whole like meep, 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 it does bug some people. And I apologize. Now, why can't I get my hook into that stitch? Yeah, so I understand that my process annoys people sometimes, but it's just what I need to do. Otherwise I won't get it done. Sometimes I have to remind myself there's steps of doing something. I'm that person who writes the notes of like, you know, oh, I need to do this project. I need to do this task 11,000 times. So it needs a process. I know you go in there. I was nearly going to skip you because I thought you already had a stitch, but you don't. Yeah, I think that might have happened a couple of times now. Yeah, especially towards Christmas when you're a bit more jam making, food stuff making steps. Did I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I think I'm in the corner a stitch early. Let me just look at this. Yeah, I am. I botched something up over here. Where the stitches were janky. I don't know why they're a bit weird. Maybe I did a weave in or something. Let me look here. Oh, okay. So what it is I've just got the very beginning of the chain row right there. So it is a different look. Okay, that's something to just keep an eye on. And because of that, I hadn't. You go in here. And you go in there. Yeah, I skipped the very first stitch because it looked wrong. And it was just because it was working into the chains. Again, whereas processing out loud is the best way to do it. Then you say it and hear it again. Absolutely. And with how my brain works, when I say things out loud, I remember them better than when I just keep them to myself. But I also know that not everybody is the same. We all have our own ways to process things, and you know, you guys know the drill. Everyone's brain's different, whether it's spicy or not spicy, it doesn't matter. Even then, it can still be different. And they've done the exact same thing again somehow. Well, look, that's just what we're doing now. I'm not going back. And take that off there. That can go in there. Note to self: don't join on with the. No, don't run away. I need you, little loop. Go. Wrap it around. And there it goes. I wish there was an easier way to hold the hook the right, like my right way, but it doesn't seem to want to let me do that. It's just a bit like, no, it's just easier if you go overhand. I don't know why. It just wants this. It just wants to be held this way. Don't know why. Oh, I skipped a stitch. Hang on a second. Go into the correct stitch. There we go. So I've been watching some what's that? The Death in Paradise spin-off show called again? Beyond Paradise. I've started watching that. I got a bit stuck in one episode and it was making me a bit sad, so I struggled with it a little bit to start with, but I did get through to the next episode. No, give up. You've trashed it. Fix it. Why is it broken? Alrighty. So we go in. Usually, let me look at one other. In there. So it's one. So one, two. Okay. It's a new pattern for me, all right? I'm struggling with it. It's small. I can't see it very well with my silly eyes, and I'm doing it on camera. I am just gonna bring it up to my eyes a little bit, all right? Just while I'm doing this. Um, It's the Humphrey and the Martha spin-off is what I'm watching, because there's another one that you're right. There's one set in Australia as well. And that's the one that I originally found. And I was a bit like, I was watching the first half of the episode and I'm like, I thought Humphrey was in this. And it took me a little bit to realize what's happened. Is that Escape to Paradise? I don't know. Still good. I ended up watching a couple episodes of that one. It was still good. I don't remember what I was watching it on. Okay. So I need to go in here. I really want this color next to this color. So I'm going to persevere a little bit. I'm also going to bring this down a bit because I keep pulling it out of the shot. All right. So that one, then this goes in here. That goes in there. Then this goes in here. I think I was missing this stitch into the thing. That goes in there. We'll find out. Find out if we have enough stitches this time. I do like the Humphrey one. I've just finished watching the one where they end on the and whatever I say is going to be a giveaway. Where this and I mean I've only watched. It's the episode where he buys a houseboat. So spoiler. Should probably say spoiler first. I don't know if they're going to keep the houseboat, but they've currently got the houseboat. Oops. I went in with the loop still on my hook. I've worked out the problem. I'm like, why am I got too many stitches all the time? The brown only has 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man, I was working on this very late last night. I'm not fixing it. I'm just going to put a second one in there. All right. That's all I'm doing. That's it. All right. There's no judgment here. Then we go straight over there. Do the next one. Okay, I put the stitch into the wrong spot there. And then I would have ended up being like, oh my gosh, why is this one so wrong as well? So let me just get this right. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 stitches that we're working into. So that's a good start. Far out. This is you know, note to self, don't do this one when you're half asleep. Or maybe do some counting or something. That's 2 that I've tried to work into that were wrong. And what's frustrating is there's only one edge that's wrong. It just happens to be the one edge I've got to work into. I missed one here. Hang on. It's not all the way back, and the stitches are very close together, so I can understand why I missed it. There we go. Remember at the start when I was like, you've got to be prepared to pull it out and keep going? Yeah, that was a like a foreshadowing of what this stream was going to be. Be prepared to go and do it 11 times. Alrighty. Okay, that lined up properly this time. Yay, let's keep going all around and round and round. Goodness me. So stressful. I think I need to go and find another project to work on for a little bit and put this one down. I love this. I think it's fun. And I want to keep working on it. And I definitely want to add some more to it today. It's going to be my lunch break project. Maybe I should just go and get something a little bit easier that it's easier to chat with. I mean, I don't think it's actually that difficult, but for some reason I can't seem to line up a hexagon with its little neat perfect edges without some kind of drama llama going on. So maybe I just need to do that. Maybe I need to go and get my hat. I'm doing great. Oh, thanks, Leanne. I'm sort of sitting here and I'm enjoying it, right? But at the same time, I'm like, that should actually be on the hook. That's all right. I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, I'm like, this can't be fun to watch, honestly. Like it's a train wreck. I think we are all in chill mode today, Leanne says. Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something about the weather at the moment, isn't there? Still got lots of this one left. Let's wind you in. I think what's been like the issue with me finishing these off right in the corner is I should probably like just finish it off like in the middle of a thing rather than on a corner of a thing. Look, I'm a big fan of the moraine. It's one of my favorite all-time colors that I ever dyed. And it wasn't even a very difficult recipe. Like some of them are like crazy. Like this one, difficult recipe. That one's a bit of a difficult recipe. That one's a freaking nightmare of a recipe. But so it wasn't that difficult to make. And I just love the color so much. All right, I'm going to finish this off in the middle of the round rather than on a corner. Let's see if that makes a difference for when that one's got to be worked on. So should we do another one? Should we do another color? I don't know. You let me know. Or should I go and grab some knitting? Or do you want to see more of what's in the bag of gloom? Well, it's not a bag of gloom. It's a bloody rainbow bag of craziness. Let me know in the chat. I'm going to sit back here and sip my cup of tea while I wait and see what it is that you want me to do. You know when you're like drinking your tea and you're like, if I just keep drinking this, it's all going to be gone, but it's a really delicious cup of tea. Maybe we could weave in some ends. I'll weave in ends while you decide. I don't want that one. I want a bent tip. I want a bent tip. I'm such a baby. I don't want a straight one. Let's see. Bianca says to keep going. How about a cartwheel? Nope. Nope. I thought we were friends, Leanne. It's just mean. It's a good use of my time, like the weaving in the ends. Yeah, I mean, it's got to get done. And I mean, I've managed to make it so I don't have to weave in that many ends, really. You know what I mean? A little pile of rubbish is the cutest little pile of rubbish there is. I saw a funny meme the other day. You said you thought you could count and then you started knitting. Oh my gosh, that is so true, right? That is just absolute truth right there. What I might do, because I do need to hold it up like this, I'm just going to pull that this way and just drop that brightness down. Because I'm working on a white bit so it stands out even more. There we go. Bit more of a productivity stream kind of vibe today, I think. Oh, look, I very much like it without the ends there. Let's just say that. Might do this. Oh, that's you are. Oh, you're a worked over end already. You already worked over. You could probably. My question for those of you that do the wrapping as we, the if it's already been worked over, I can trim that right back, right? Like that's the answer there, isn't it? So I've already woven it around and around and around, and then it's already been worked on in the next row, like by the join on row. I should just be able to just. Sorry, this yellow's got a lot to weave in because I thought I had enough grams, and it's when I realised I was miscounting some stuff. And luckily for me, there was a bit more in another ball. So, yes. So I think my ultimate goal will be to weave in the ends as I go, like I did with like I'm doing with the other blanket, the corner to corner join as you go. So I go through and do a couple of squares, and then I weave all the ends in of like that basically that row. So I do a section and weave the ends in, and then do a section and then weave the ends in. I'm thinking I might do the same with this one. Otherwise, I mean, even if you're only just weaving in like the one end, because this one here, it can just get trimmed. I'm like freaking out. Do I just trim it? Like it's ready. It's the point of it. It's supposed to just get trimmed back. There we go. I just did it. Yeah, Leanne, it should be well and truly enough to trim it back. It's been woven through like 10 stitches and then stitched over the top of. Just my paranoia about ends is all it is. Anybody else like worried about ends coming undone and I mean that's one of the reasons why I sort of like I love the magic ring middle, right? I think it's a really great middle, but I do worry sometimes that it's going to come undone. Like, so when I weave it in, I'm like a crazy person. Like, round and round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Chantel's weaving in the ends of the middle. Okay, that's all right. That's probably been woven enough anyway. All right, that brown one is done and woven over. Yeah, it's just me being paranoid. I get it. It's all right. I just like the thought of doing all this work because I know some of you have had the issue where after a couple of washes, the middles have started coming undone. And just the thought of having to go in and repair that. And that's part of the reason why I do so many times around the middle as well, is if I do have to repair it. I may not have a hugely long tail, but I should have enough to go through and pick everything up and drag it through. Well, with a long enough needle anyway. I mean that's my reasoning that I put in my brain. There's no other reason to do it that many times. Yeah, I normally wash it before, like I normally weave in the ends, wash and block, and then trim as well. But these are bugging me, and I want to get them out of the way a little bit. So, I mean, I could probably just do the middles and leave the edges, but the edges are the ones that are bugging me. But yeah, blocking then trimming is smart because if you block it out and then the stitches move around, and you might end up with like little ends that poke out. Um, because of the elastic, especially with wool, the elasticity of wool. Definitely smarter to block, wash, and then trim. Sorry, to weave in the ends, block, wash, and then trim. But I'm not, I don't always do it. Sometimes I do trim it. I usually do regret it now that I've said that. I usually end up with like a little end that I've got to go and find and you know give it a little trimmer. Usually that's the worst case scenario though. I don't usually lose an end. I usually just have to trim the end. But if I just do the middles will be fine. That, and because of how many times I go around the middles. Leanne says, me, I overdo the weaving in the ends. I've had the magic loop come undone. It's a nightmare to fix. Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's like it can be fixed, but it is painful. And so yeah, I try to go around the circle a couple of times at least, and once the other way if possible. Just I don't know. It's just paranoia. That's all it is. Go in here. Block. Nope. Um, that one's not woven. See, I wouldn't trim that one yet because I haven't stitched over it yet. Whereas that one's been stitched over and woven through there. That I can trim. That'll be what I do. I actually weave it through there as well. That seems smart to me. I'll do that because then it gets the end out of the way and gives me a little bit extra. And I get to trim it off a little bit. Okay. Pinky tail. That's a short tail. I wonder why it's so long. Oh, that just needed a tug. There we go. I have less guilt over this project now. Funnily enough, I'm like my whole attitude towards it's changed now that the ends are being done. Like maybe I can just keep working on this. Alrighty. How are you all going in your projects? What are you working on? Where are you up to? Has anyone gone and found their scraps to start this one right now? Or is it like a later thing? got Fibre retreats coming up in a couple of weeks. It's so exciting. We've got I've got big summit coming up. I'm not going, but I'm still exciting. All the lead up, all the speakers are being announced. We've just had two of the keynotes announced, and holy crap, like they are top level, both of them. And I'm a bit miffy that I'm not going. I'm going to be really honest. The thought of traveling right now is a bit stressful, but I'm also like, man, these guys are really good. So yeah, I'm torn. I'm so torn. Let's see if we can pick you up and get you in there. There we go. Yeah, I feel better about trimming the long bits. Fit to Function says that she's working on the high tea fusion quilt. I'm going to take mine with me to retreat. And I've got to weave in ends is basically where I'm at with that now. I've crocheted all the corners. That's all the squares have been blocked, but I've got 4 ends on each square that need weaving in, and I've got 80 odd squares. So that's fun and exciting. So yay. I do want to go a little bit the other way just in case. Change direction. Alrighty. Leanne says we've got the first ever Yarn Fest on the 23rd and 24th of August. Yeah, for Queensland, absolutely. It's going to be awesome. I don't think there's not really a lot there to weave in. I might just sneaky, you know how you just sort of weave the needle through and then try and catch some yarn. That's basically what I'm going to try and do here because this tail here is so short. I went around a few sides. I can't wait for the Yarn Fest. I'll be there also. I'm planning on going. I don't normally do a lot of the out of the house stuff, but I'm going to go to that one, I think. This one here, we need to run it down and see if we can hook it on our way through. There we go. I'm taking things for other people's projects to retreat. Same as every year. Yeah. It seems that way. There we go. There's a lot left in that one. Game Widows can't wait for retreat. Yeah, there's so much stuff coming. It's just exciting. So many things. Alrighty. Nearly finished weaving in all these ends. I mean, this is one of those things, right? Like it's not the sexy part of crocheting. Is there a sexy part of crocheting? I don't know. It's not the sexy part of crocheting, but if you don't do it and you don't do it properly, it's just going to be like full of regret because your project that you've just spent 11 million hours crocheting on is like it's just going to be fall apart. You're going to wash it once, it's going to fall apart. So just weave in the ends, just this is more of a thing for me. I've actually got garments that I wear that have ends that need weaving in. It's like, seriously. I mean, admittedly, one of them just needs its ends trimmed, right? But others need the whole thing woven in. But it's like it's inside the sweater. It's like under the neck. No one can see it. It's not in my way. It doesn't bug me. It's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. So we're gonna get a little glance of what this looks like on the other side soon, with all the ends out of the way, or at least most of the ends. Anyway, there's nothing I can do about that one. That one's done. I know you can see this side of it, but we'll see the other side. Mel says, I have to learn a new skill, darning handmade socks. YouTube, here I come. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fixing your hand, like you get a hole in a commercial sock, you just go and buy a new sock, right? You get a hole in your handmade socks, you are going to learn how to darn. I think some people really do need that second heel, like the second foot bit, where you make 2 layers of it, just so that you've got more protection for the sock as well. I'm like, oh, I want to read that a little bit more. Paranoid is going to come undone. Actually, these aren't magic loops. Why am I so paranoid about it? My brain keeps going, oh, they'll just come undone. They're not magic loops. I didn't do magic loops, Chantel. You did full-on chain ones. The worst thing that'll happen is I'll open up a little bit. It won't come undone. Oh, hello, Louie Lulu. How you going, big man? You going to sit in your chair? You going to sit there? You going to sit there? Or are you just going to stare at me? Oh, ho, ho, ho. What are you doing? Oh, you want the heater on? No, you're just going to leave? I've just put the camera on. Come sit in your bed. Here. Come on. There he is. I'll move the cam. There you go. Seriously, dude. You've got your head on the cricket. Is that your pillow? You've got a whole bed, and he's in the top quarter of the bed so he can rest his head on the cricket. Good job. Well done, dude. Thank you for joining us. He's just going to snooze now. Snooze, lose the day away. Probably more to do with something about that I keep some particular portals to the other side closed, and he would like to venture through one of them. So, yeah, I think that's probably got more to do with it because it's about that time. Oh, wow. Gosh, it really is about that time. Here I am thinking it's taken forever to do this, and it's just like the time has flown. Gosh, I can't believe it's been 2 hours. Goodness me. I don't know what I was thinking. I just haven't looked at the clock, I'll be honest. And now I've looked at it, I'm just like, what? I feel like I've only just sort of gotten this started. All right, let's get ready for the big flip over reveal of the right side of where we're at so far. Come back, little thing. There we go. All right, ready? Bling. I mean, it looks the same. It looks the same as the other side, honestly. But here we go. Now we can get a good look at the joins. There's no ends in the way to see how the joins are working. And for me, that's the big difference on this particular project. Hang on. I remember to keep trimming that one short for some reason. And I remember like looking at like MSCs and thinking this join, like, yeah, it's a little bit of extra work, but it just looks so cute. It just, they, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it. It's definitely rustic. Like, and if you don't like, look at these ones where it's all the way around, like the ones in the middle. That one's got a bit of pink, a little bit, you know, you get a little bit of everything with them. So I definitely, and yeah, the join is on the points, absolutely. And every single stitch is joined up. There's no looseness. Every stitch is joined. So there's no, you know, there's no super spots for toes and things like that to get caught through the big gaps. I mean, sure, you probably could if you really push, but like there's no, like, you know how sometimes they sort of just join a couple of spots through there. I just really like it. And like it's taken, I don't even want to say how many days to get this far, but I am limiting myself. This will be a long-term project. This is not a project that I'm just going to like, oh, I'm just going to make a blanket like real quick. Like, you know, it's not going to be a weekend project like some of my blankets are. This is a longer term, slowly savor the scraps. Decide which color's going where next. Like I'm thinking that color could go nicely there. And then maybe this blue one just here. And that's the other thing, you can just pick up your little spots. We'll put a little red one here. Thinking something a bit darker. What have we got? And we could go a darker purple there, but what else do I have in the bag of tricks? I mean, I've got some nearly black. Oh, absolutely, Bianca. Absolutely. Especially when they're these smaller little pieces, you could like easily just stitch mark it off when you get to the end and you don't even have to trim the yarns. It's the bigger ones where you'd only be able to do one hexie and then stitch marker it off. But if you've got all these like little scrap pieces that are just like tiny amounts that would just sort of, you know, sit nicely in different spots. Like I'm just grabbing a few colors here. So I've got like a softy grey green there. I reckon actually could go there. Got a bright green, it could sit there if we want. I mean, then we've got like, you know, all these colors. We've got a blue, you know what I mean? Like, so there's lots. You could just play with it and you can really design it out if you want. Or you can be like what I've done so far, which is grab a color and go, where am I going to stick this one? You know, and that's basically where I've been going to start with. But I do have a lot more of these sorts of colors because they were leftovers from the rainbow sock kits back in the day. And I have a lot of different greys. But, you know, there's a little bit of butterfly. Don't know if you guys remember butterfly, but that's a bit of the butterfly. Gosh, that's soft. And then there's like this one here, which was like just a soft speckly green. So yeah, like all these colors that didn't end up becoming regulars, that were just sort of one-offs. Look at that, there's this little tiny one. There's not going to be enough for anything, but it's a little cute. But I think that's, for me, it's just like, oh man, I remember making that color. So there's like a memory attached to each of these. And so if you're using this, like if you've been making like a lot of socks or something like that, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's the yarn from such and such a sock that went to, you know, my brother or whatever. Like they'll nearly be like little memory blankets. Or not, you can totally just go and buy some mini packs and have some fun with it. And you can do it with DK and just have bigger motifs. Like there's no limits. There's no limits here. So I'm like blown away by the time already. It has been so awesome hanging out with you. It doesn't feel like it's been long enough. I'm going to be really honest. I thought we must have been heading into like the first hour. I didn't realize that that we hit 2 hours. But yeah, this is a memory blanket for me, because I do remember like most of the colors I've designed and why I designed them, and what they were for and things like that. So um yeah, and whether it was just for fun, like whether a color was just to see if I could do it, like this one here. Like that didn't end up being much of anything, but it was a test run to see how a particular glazing technique could work. And I've got a lot of colors like that where it's like a test run or a special run. Like I've got like some of the yarn that I did for P4A. So I dyed up 6 skeins of yarn for them and donated those for them to sell as for fundraising for Project for Awesome. And that was amazing. So yeah, there's little bits of all that sort of stuff. So yeah, you could have a memory blanket too, if you want to make one. All right, I'm going to scoot. I'm going to go and have some lunch, and then just maybe do another hexie to add on. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll just quickly eat my lunch and do some other work. But maybe I do need to do another hexie just look. It needs balancing out. All right, it's not very balanced. It's very, very bottom heavy. I need to add in an extra one. Time does fly when you're having fun. Absolutely. So good of you all to jump in. Thank you so much for hanging out. Channel members, we've got a channel member call coming up in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to have to change the date on our channel member call, I think it is, because it's the first day of retreat. So I'm going to try and bring it forward a week. So because we missed last month, so I don't want to skip it again. So we're going to try and work that out. So channel members, keep an eye out in the membership area. We'll be having a poll and a discussion about the makeup time. So I'll catch you all later. Bye now.